Jury, I see you. What up?
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Carney.
And it's LEALE.
This is the Culture Cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so we are going to do a series of 75 Hard podcast interviews with each other. We are on day 9. Tomorrow will be day 10. We both completed day 9, so we're about a week and a half in.
Almost.
About a week and a half in. And yeah, there's a lot of people who are close to us who have either started 75 Hard already and are constantly just asking us for questions, feedback, advice, whatever the case may be. And then there's also people constantly who are just following the journey and curious. So we thought, this could be a dope way to just kind of answer a lot of those questions on a quick, 20-minute, episode, weekly basis type of thing. Just kind of give you all a recap what we're doing, what's working, some of the obstacles that we're facing or have already overcame. Hopefully, if you're thinking about 75 Hard, or you're trying it for the first time, or trying it for the 10th time, and just looking for a little tidbit to try and get better, hopefully we can provide some value for you. So, got anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think you covered it. I just think this is going to be a really cool way to kind of just share our journey. I think, at the end, it's very easy to make content and kind of try and wrap it all up. But you guys will really get to see the ins and outs and the feelings, the ebbs and flows, because it's a long process, it's a long journey. And as you can tell, we're only on day 9, and you're going to get to learn the difference between day 1 and day 9 alone. So I think this is going to be super valuable. If you're looking to start 75 Hard or not, I just think, it's going to be really dope to document the process.
Well, def. So to kick things off, why don't we just talk, why don't you start with just why 75 Hard? Take them back, because this is our second year doing this. Last year we completed it. You went for, I think, almost damn near 100 days. I went for 120 days or something like that straight. But just talk about even just your first experience and why 75 Hard and why you chose to do it again.
Yeah, so I think this is really unique too, because we have 2 totally different stories and perspectives. Last year I couldn't tell you why 75 Hard. I know he could tell me, you could tell me why I should do 75 Hard, but I knew overall I just wanted to grow. I just wanted to get better. I just wanted to find different ways to advance in what I was doing. I've always had a hustler's mindset and always wanted to get better, but I felt like I was constantly hitting different ceilings. So 75 Hard was just a new challenge. I like to challenge myself. I really did not know what was going to come of it. I know the first time, like I said, 4 a.m., I never saw that on a clock. Unless I was getting home from being out. I didn't know 7 a.m. was early for me. I was still in college, and it was a whole new lifestyle for me. It was a whole complete 180. And I kind of just followed in your footsteps. And after a while, I got in a groove, and I set my own goals and my own expectations, and realized what I was capable of. And it was really cool just to, watch that growth. So my first year was really just focused on weight loss. That was probably my biggest goal. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I felt like I lost myself at one point. And not that, I was in terrible shape, but I just always knew what I was capable of. I was capable of more. My body was capable of more. So that was my biggest goal, my biggest focus. So 75 Hard the first time around, my biggest why, I would say, was weight loss. Really was just to get healthier. And I knew with that came a better mindset. We both know the gym isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional. So that was definitely my why in the first year. And then once we're going to get deeper into my why this year is, a lot deeper than just weight loss. I lost about 15 pounds and kept it off all year, which was, super exciting. I actually weighed in less than when I ended 75 Hard last year. So now, I was able to see what else 75 Hard could do, because I think I also fell for the stereotype. It's just about, physically changing and physically adapting.
I think a lot of people, and not to cut you off,
No,
but I
you're
think
fine.
a lot of people fall into the idea that 75 hard is strictly like a fitness and weight loss challenge. And like,
Yeah.
just to kind of piggyback off your story, like it was the same thing for me. Like last year was the second time that I completed 75 hard, fourth time that I tried. I completed it the first time, failed twice, and then completed it again. And the first two times I did complete it was mainly weight loss. Like last year I was 225. First time I think I was like 220. Lost over 20 pounds last year, and I was never like fat, but it was bigger for me and just like uncomfortable. But it was a big weight loss thing, and like even the stuff that I was posting was more or less about the weight loss achievement, right? Whereas this year, I didn't keep all the weight off. I gained back probably 7 or 8 pounds, but did a really good job of maintaining. And this year, it's more about that growth that you're talking about. And for the people who like are even remotely considering 75 hard, like it's not all about weight loss. Like
Yeah.
we were at the crib on New Year's Eve, and like Will and Adam, Cass was over, and I think it was Will had said something about like we were just kind of talking about it, and he had mentioned like how he like can't lose weight or don't want to lose weight,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, or if he's not eating and drinking like shit or whatever, that he'll lose a bunch of weight. And just because you're on 75 hard doesn't mean you have to lose weight. Like this year for you, and I'll let you speak more on this, but like you said, you came in weighing less this year than when you ended 75 hard last year. So this year it has absolutely nothing to do with weight loss for you. It's about just strictly growth.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We get all the different comments and the pushbacks as people just, stepping outside the box. But a lot of, similar to like what Will said, I got a lot of people like, first thing when I say I'm doing 75 hard, how much more weight do you want to lose? Like you lost and, it's hard to explain what 75 hard does for you. To somebody that's never done it, like even you explaining it to me, I didn't realize, the real capacity it was going to stretch me to. This time around, it really develops you. You learn a lot about yourself. You are forced to put yourself in really uncomfortable situations. And as far as an outdoor workout, drinking a gallon of water, and people are like, the problem is people think, okay, well, me doing an outdoor workout has nothing to do with my goals, but it's
just to kind of, for those of you who have never heard of 75 hard before and are just watching this and wondering what the fuck we're even talking about. So 75 hard, it is a fitness challenge, but it's also more of like a mental and growth challenge as well. But the parameters or the guidelines for the first phase of 75 hard is a 45-minute workout, a 45-minute outside workout. You have to read 10 pages a day. You have to drink a gallon of water each day. You have to take a progress picture each day. You have to follow a diet. And by diet, that doesn't mean you have to be on a keto diet or some crazy ass diet. Like it can literally be as simple as I'm not eating out or I'm not eating Cheetos for 75 days. Whatever it is that works for you. And then the last part, I think, is no alcohol.
and no cheat meals.
And no cheat meals. Yeah. And like the 45-minute workout, that's another one that I get asked about all the time. Like, especially we're in
Western
Buffalo,
New York,
Olean, Western New York. It's brick out here for the next 3 months, right? And this is when we're doing it. We're only on day 9. It's going to be cold as a bitch pretty much this entire 75 days. You don't have to kill yourself. Like, you don't have to be out there doing push-ups and running sprints and doing burpees and on a track doing whatever.
Just move your
We
body.
literally take a walk for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I take a walk for 45 minutes. For me, it's meditation, but it is a workout. And this isn't designed to like be David Goggins. That's not what this is about. This is, like I said, just as much fitness or just as much mental as it is fitness. So like, it's not about trying to kill yourself. It's about developing that discipline to be able to, okay, it's cold out, but I have to get this done and going. And okay, well, a gallon of water, for those of you who have never drank a gallon of water in a day, if you don't have a system to it, it can be difficult. And, it's hard, but to have the discipline to say, okay, I have to get this gallon done. I have to get this 45-minute workout done. I have to go to the gym for 45 minutes for 75 days straight. Again, it doesn't have to be a crazy workout. It can be, we do yoga for 45 minutes some days. We don't even leave the house, but it's a 45-minute, set of yoga. And again, it's not intended to kill you. It's intended to develop that discipline that you need in order to be successful and achieve the levels of growth that you want to achieve. And that's ultimately why I think I became addicted to it. I've always been, addicted to growth. And the first time that I did 75 hard, it was completely, came out of nowhere, came out of left field. Like I was in a mastermind group for wholesaling. I was wholesaling at the time. And Christian Coburn, shout out Christian, had the whole group, like he was going to try it or something, and there's 10, 12 people in the group, whatever, and everyone was going to do it. And I just got back from Miami, and I was fat and out of shape, and everyone was like, yeah, I'm doing it, yeah, I'm doing it, yeah, I'm doing it. And then they got to me, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be the one that's not going to do it. And I was, I believe, the only one that ended up actually finishing. There might have been one other person in there. But, like, after that first experience, I was blown away by the results. Like I lost, damn near, I think 20 pounds that time too. But it's so much more than just weight loss.
Yeah, he hit it on the head. But I wanted to say, you're gonna realize that you turn it into your own. You turn 75 hard into your own thing, because like he said, like for us, we work out every day. So, doing a 45-minute workout, the walk outside in the cold, like, is not fun all the time. But, like, those habits are already kind of implemented for us. For other people, other things might be more difficult. And you're going to turn 75 hard into, like, your own journey. And you're going to find other things and other places where you're like, ooh, I really want to go. Ooh, I like reading. You might figure out, like, you find a new passion. Like, just by putting yourself in, like, uncomfortable situations, you're going to, like, realize that you're growing in ways you wouldn't even think you could or would.
No, for sure. And like you said, like reading is a big thing. Like the walk for me outside, that's our workout. The walk is like meditation for me. Like my routine, and this is another big part too. Like for those of you, if anybody's out there watching who is just starting 75 hard for the first time, like one of the hardest things for me when I first tried it was figuring out a routine. Like there was nothing worse than going through your day and having to scramble and chug 3 bottles of water at 11 p.m. because you haven't finished your gallon, or go to the gym at 10 p.m. because you didn't get up in the morning and now you're scrambling around trying to get that last workout in. I couldn't tell you how many times that I was walking at 11 p.m. or chugging water right before bed or reading before bed when I'm exhausted, because I didn't have a routine. And it takes a while to, figure it out. And I think, last year was your first time, it was my second. So I was able to kind of help you expedite that growth a little bit and avoid some of those pitfalls that I went through. But even so, like, fast forward to this year, now our routines are kind of similar, but they're also very different. Like you found your own routine and your own way of doing things that works for you. I just kind of like showed you my habits and what I did and what worked for me, and then you just kind of took that and made it your own and made it work for you, which is dope. Because like I get up at well, we both do, but we're up at 4 a.m, and like my routine is I wake up, first thing I do is read, first thing I do is chug some water, and then I'll read my 10 pages. And then after I'm done with my 10 pages, I'll go for my 45-minute walk, and like that's how I start my day. I love it. I probably developed that halfway through the first trial, 75 hard. Did it the entire last time. I used to walk to the gym and get the gym knocked out too, but I switched that up. But just finding your routine, like I don't know if you want to share like your routine or just like your experience.
Yeah, like you kind of touched on, like when I first did 75 hard, the best way I like to explain it is like a little kid like following their parent or following an adult in the snow or the sand. Like they step in their footsteps because they don't want to step in the snow, or they're scared to step in the snow. They know they can do it because they're watching the person in front of them that they know and trust do it. So they know that they're going to be safe and they're going to be okay. But they're like, I should probably just do it how they do it because that's how it works. And now this year I'm like, oh, like I can walk in the snow too. Like I can, walk my own path. Like I'm not gonna get hurt. And like I feel like that's like a really good metaphor for how much like transition from my first year to this year is. I succeeded and I did it, and I think I became more independent throughout 75 hard. Like, oh, like we don't gotta walk together. We got this. Like we didn't go to the gym together like all the time. Like started to adapt in my own schedule. But this year, I'm really just focused on like becoming the best version of myself, and I'm like, okay, I can do this, and now I have to take these steps to do what's right for me. So like I read The Miracle Morning. It was my first book that I read for 75 hard, and it's already changed my perspective on everything. And I think it's like the reason that my morning routine has been like the epitome to like my days being successful. So I wake up, and the first thing I do is I brush my teeth, and he says that in the book, and at first I was like, brush your teeth, like it's 4 a.m, like you can barely open your eyes, but it's such a mindless activity. It's good for you. You should do it anyways. And you're there for 2 minutes, and by the time you're done, you're like, all right, well, I'm not going to go back to bed. So like brush my teeth, I make my bed. And for me, I do like my skincare. I put cold like ice roller on my face, wakes me up. So I have clean face, brush my teeth, made my bed. My room is clean. I come out here and I read and I journal. So I make sure I leave my bedroom to be in a new space that's away from my cozy bed that's already made. And by the time you start reading and journaling's been a huge addition. I didn't do that last year, and I'm going to hold myself to this year. Just to have like a moment of peace and gratitude when you wake up. When I did 75 hard last year, it was enduring for me and it was hard. And I think sometimes I woke up with that anxiety and that pressure, like, ooh, like you finished your 10 pages, now it's time for us to go on our walk. Like I gotta hurry, like I'm anxious, like I have class at 8 a.m. and I gotta get this in. And now this year, like I said, I'm very proud of myself. I've grown a lot to just being, building my own habits and rituals, and waking up and just like having that moment of peace and like gratitude and, mindfulness has just helped me go throughout my days even better. Like the way that I approach my mornings, like when something really shitty happens in the middle of the day that pisses me off, I quickly resort back to remembering just to stay mindful and to like be where my feet are, because that's how my days start. They're grounded, and I break that off. I do a little bit of work, I break that off, and I go on my walk, and it's like a refresh, and I really love it. And I think, I give shouts to that book, because like just little things like the brush your teeth, make your bed, like all that. One thing I do want to say from this book, and this was like a wake-up call for me, I cannot remember how he worded it exactly, but it's talking about pressing the snooze button, which I've been victim of my, like, so bad. Like, I will sleep through everything because I will double snooze it, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, I don't remember pressing the button. I'll be calling him. But he says something about the snooze, and he's like, no matter what time it is you wake up, you opening your eyes and pressing the snooze button isn't just you trying to get more sleep. It's you automatically going into default of, I'm not going to get up and be the person I always want to become. Like you're letting that person down. You're saying this is too much for them. So it's you versus you all the time. That's one thing you're going to learn. Like we are getting other people to do it. It's not a competition. It's you versus you all the time. And just by pressing that snooze button, I know that sounds deep and it might sound extra to some people, but when you think about it, it's like, it's a reflection of you and who you want to become. You set that alarm because the things you're going to do are going to make you better. So by simply pressing that button, like you can't even get up for your future self. Like fuck the reading, fuck the workouts, the water, like you can't get up for you.
You won't.
And that kind of like hit me hard. Like, so even, today was a harder morning to get up, and I was like, just those little things. It's just the little things, but my morning has like, I want to say like changed my life because it's only been like 10 days, but I really think it's going to in the long run.
Miracle Morning, and I know I recommended that book to you, but Miracle Morning, like I told you, was the book that changed. That was the first book that like really changed my life. I think I read Think and Grow
Here,
Rich.
hand it to me. I want to show the people so if people want to get it.
I read Think and Grow Rich. Before that, that was like the first book that I read by choice,
It's
and
the book right here, yo.
not because I was forced to, like in school or something. But my man KO, shout out to KO, gave me that book when we moved to Pittsburgh. We was living on Pius and Southside, and he gave me that book right there. And I read that book, and I was the kid who was waking up at 8:30, 8:45 to be at work at 9, rolling out of bed. I was sleeping in, waking up late. Like when I was a kid, they used to have to like literally come and get me out of bed to like go to an AAU tournament or whatever the case may be. And now I'm getting up, my alarm's off at 3:45, and I'm up at 4 a.m. on a daily basis. And it was that book right there, and like the whole premise. Hopefully everybody watching this ends up reading it if they haven't already.
Please do. It's such a short book too. Like.
The whole idea of it, like the example that he gives that I think is most impactful and really frames it in the best is like if you celebrate Christmas and you're a kid,
Yes.
and Christmas Eve's around, and you're 9, 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever the case may be, and all you can think about is waking up early and getting those presents. Like, it doesn't matter if you get 20 minutes of sleep or 20 hours of sleep. You're waking up with the utmost energy. You're on 10 as soon as you wake up. And he talks about like if you go to sleep and your last thoughts are, damn, I'm not trying to get up in the morning, I'm gonna be so tired.
Yes.
That's how you're gonna wake up. But if you go to bed and you're like grateful and you're like, damn, I can't wait 100%. To get up because I get to go at my dreams for another day. Then you wake up with that feeling of gratitude and appreciation, and it that little change in mindset makes the world a difference.
Yeah, and I like you said, I know I'm trying to think about people that haven't done it, and like maybe people that are just trying to gain a new mindset, and maybe are like wake up like it's Christmas morning when I was a kid. Are you kidding me? I gotta go to my 9 to 5. I gotta work out. I gotta walk in the cold. And like, I get it. Like, I feel you. But imagine if the first thing you do when you wake up is just dream. Like, literally, you get to wake up and start dreaming instead of like falling asleep and leaving your dreams from waking up. You just start dreaming when you wake up, and you're taking time to yourself, dedicated to yourself, to your mind, to growing. You look forward to that. Nobody's blowing up your phone about work. You ain't got, I don't know. I know some people are moms. Like, how can I achieve this? Those are the times where it's for you. And like, whatever that means. And I think that's also been my biggest stepping stone, because like before, when we were on the same exact schedule, I felt like, not that I was like attached to you, but it was just like, it was monotonous for me. And like, it wasn't really mine. You know what I mean? Now, like, make your morning yours, you know what I mean? That's what it's made for. So just like want to preface that, because I get people like, how is this supposed to be like Christmas morning at 4 a.m. in the winter? And
you don't have to get up at 4. If that don't work for you, that don't work for you. You know what I mean? You get up at 6, 7 o'clock, whatever works for you. Yeah. We found something that works for us, and I love it. Like she talked about, like it's that moment for yourself where, my 45-minute walk, like, yeah, it might be cold, but I mean, I'm suited up from head to toe, like I'm going to a 10 below under Bills.
I got the ski goggles on, snow pants.
But like those 45 minutes, like I don't put my AirPods in. I'm not listening to music. I don't listen to a book.
I stopped doing that this year too.
I'm literally it's just me and my thoughts, and it allows me those 45 minutes to, if I do wake up anxious, I got 45 minutes to work that out. If I wake up excited, I got 45 minutes to ground myself and just mentally prepare for the day. Like, I grew up playing sports. Like I use sports analogies all the time, but it's just like those moments before a big game, like, when you just take that time for yourself and, you got your headphones in or whatever. Obviously, like I said, I don't wear my headphones, but it just gives you that time, that peace before, that allows you to have that mental clarity to just ground yourself. And for me, like I said, it's like meditation. So, but the only other thing we kind of bounced around, the only other thing is just like, I kind of wanted to just like recap week 1 specifically. Like we talked about, this was a completely different year. Like last year, we was going in, we was both overweight. Weight loss was,
I was
at
scared.
the top of the totem pole of, you know, goals and achievements of what we were looking to accomplish. This year was completely different. Like we've been talking about how excited we were to do 75 hard for at least like the last 6 weeks. So this year it was like we already had a routine. We knew we could do it. Like I know this is my third time. This is her second. So this year, week 1, we decided last minute to do a 3-day fast. I've done one before.
You decided, I decided last
Shout out
minute.
my coach, Jessica. She actually, she's the one that inspired it. I don't know what we were talking about on our coaching call, but she had brought it up, and then I just set my mind on it, and I was like, I'm doing it. And then you just kind of got roped into it.
No. Look. I did not get roped in. I did not have to do it, but I'm also competitive, and I felt like I could. Like I went back and forth. I was like, I don't know if I can do it, and not because like I feel like I couldn't eat. It's just like scary. You think about like what you're really doing, and going from the holidays and eating and drinking whatever I wanted to that. But
yeah, it's not easy.
I ended up, yeah. I don't know. You want to go first, or I'd tell Mike?
Yeah, I mean, we did it, and I did this in probably like 2019 with my boy Kyle when we lived in Pittsburgh, but I did it all wrong. I mean, I fasted, like I didn't eat or all I drank was water, but like I did it all wrong. This time around, we did a bunch of research going in, so for me, it was more of like once she put it in my mind. It wasn't so much about the fast and the benefits from the fast, even though this time around I experienced a ton of benefits from the fast. It was more of like a mental, I'm trying to set the tone for the year type of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And
which I got.
and it was just like one of the things, like like I said, I'm addicted to growth. I love challenging myself and seeing what I'm capable of. Like that's really what 75 hard is like once you can accomplish it, it's like, okay, well, what else can I do? Or at least that's how my mind works.
Yeah, I think like I'm just a quick thing. I think for me it was like this is something I would have done when I had like an old toxic mindset about weight loss. And since I didn't want to lose weight at all, really, like, well, I wanted to lose a little, I was like trying to find purpose behind it. And then when you kind of explained it like that, like just the mental challenge, like proving you still have control, like you kept saying, like just proving to myself I still have control. I was like, okay, like that sounds like a good start.
Yeah, so we ended up starting, so January 1st is when we started 75 hard. We did like, I don't know, like a 12 or 16 hour fast. We ate at like 4 in the morning, so it wasn't even really a fast, but we didn't eat until like dinner time the next day. And then
we did it again.
And then we did a 24-hour fast from the second to the third, or the first to the second. Yeah, the first to the second. And then we started, because the actual fast started Thursday. Like our last meal was at 6. And first day was fucking terrible. I remember about 4 p.m. the next day, we was coming up on 24 hours. And I mean, she didn't have to say it to me. I was already thinking it. Like I was on the edge, ready to quit. Like my body was going through what I now know was carb withdrawal, and I was hypoglycemic or whatever.
Yeah, hyper is like when you have more. So
whatever. I was fucked up, and thankfully we decided to watch some YouTube videos and educate ourselves, and we did that. And that
please educate yourself before you try something like this. Like we are not. First of all, I know we're big 75 hard advocates. I'm not going to advocate. I'm not going to advocate for the fast. We need to.
I will advocate for the fast, but do your research.
Yeah, do your research.
Because once we did the research,
please do your research. Because everyone is different.
Yeah, once we did the research, like for one, it makes you a lot more confident in what's going on because you understand a lot more what's going on. Like I still don't fully understand everything, but I at least could understand more why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. What?
I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was rough. It was real rough.
And just watching YouTube videos for sanity. I'm just watching doctors talk about ketone bodies.
Yeah, I felt like I just got a little ass PhD out there. I watched some of the YouTube videos, but anyways, I woke up the next day, and this was, I don't know, day 3 or 4, 75 hour, whatever it was. And I felt a million times better. And it snowed like a foot and a half in Olean. We was in Olean. And I ended up having to shovel for 45 minutes for my outdoor workout. And it was tough. Like, my body felt fatigued, but my mind was sharp. But like the first day, like I couldn't get out of bed. Like, I related to if you had the flu and you were sick for like 4 or 5 days and like you're just getting out of it and it's just like really hard to like get up and do stuff, like that's how it felt day 1. Day 2, it was like I'm still a little fatigued, but I can operate. Like, I wasn't feeling the urge to like take a nap all the time or anything. Like, I was able to work. I worked most of that day. And then like there becomes a point where you're really not even hungry. You know, your mind's hungry. You think you're hungry, but your stomach shrinks. And like it really wasn't that bad for day 2 and day 3, aside from like day 3, as you get closer to knowing your fast is over, like you get a little anxious because you're just excited to eat. But I ended up losing 8 pounds, and I thought that I would put the weight right back on, and it's been 4 or 5 days since the fast, and I've gained 1 pound. So I feel amazing, like, and you could visibly see like the fat loss, which was crazy to me.
Yeah. So it's such an aggressive like change.
Yeah, it was wild. But like, if you do it right, like the first time I did it, I was like doing pre-workout and I was exercising heavy still, and like I just didn't lead up to it right there. Like, there's a system and a process to go
like
through.
the sodium intake and everything.
Yeah, so I did it right this time, and like I definitely felt the benefits in my body, and I plan to try it again at the top of February, but we'll see how that goes. But all in all, like week 1, 75 hard, like I feel great to be back. You know, I know we're a little bit further than a week in at this point, but like today was the first day where we woke up a little tired, and you know what I mean, didn't have that, like the excitement is starting to wear off of like, ooh, New Year's, like I got all these goals and resolutions, and now it's funny too because
I have to tell, I failed the water fast, guys. I'm not gonna like just act like because he just clearly I didn't tell my part of it because I failed it. I vouched for full transparency. This is why I say do your research, especially as a woman. We have a cycle, and it does play a huge role. You don't realize, like, between your iron levels and your hormones, and I was not prepared. Didn't know what was coming. Like I said, day 1, we were both struggling.
How long did you go for? Like 40 somehow?
Yeah, so like day 1, we were both struggling, and we were ready to tap out that 24 hours at night, and we watched that video. I felt better. I was like, I'm going to be good in the morning. Like, I took the salt. And your girl woke up at like 3, 4 in the morning, cold sweats, nauseous, thought she was gonna faint. I have low blood sugar as it is. Not good, really not good. Woke up the next day and it all made sense. But it just
still completed your 75 hard.
Yeah, and I just still complete 75 hard, and like it is just a sign to listen to your body. I do want to try it again. I do think I can do it. I think I have the mental strength for it for sure. But it's just a sign to listen to your body, like. Yeah. If you know, you know. But I do think like just watching him and just like even doing 24 hours, like it's hard. Like, and it's a mental challenge. But I need to say it because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I did it. You tried to took it under.
It's definitely worth trying if that's something you're into.
But I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say
wrapping up week 1. And
today was tough, and then I ended up getting on the Tom Ferry thing. And they were talking about how January 10th is like National Quitter Day.
He woke up and said, "Today's January 1st." Yeah, and I was like, what? He goes, "Today's January 1st," and this is like the real test. This is where it starts to get. You don't wake, like you said, it's not as exciting. Like,
and now it's real life now. Like this is just what life is. You know, everybody wake up on January 1st and excited to go to the gym and act like they're gonna make all these changes and. You know, I'm the same way, you know what I mean? But today was the first day where it was like that wore off and it was just a regular day. And we woke up at 4:30, which, you know, is late for us. And tired as shit. Didn't want to get up.
I wanted to skip all those little steps I talked about in my morning routine. I was like, I'm just gonna drink my water, read my book, and get this over with. But you gotta thug it out.
And just had so many conversations with myself just about like my big thing for this year is just doing shit when I don't feel like it. Like we all fall victim to it at times, you know what I'm saying? Even the greatest, like there's days where you just don't push through it. Like you're lying to me if you say you never had one of them days. And I'm just trying to minimize them. And those days where you just don't feel like it, like I don't feel like it is no longer an excuse. And that's really just my mindset and what I'm trying to tackle at the very core, at the most basic level. Like it's that. And at the end of the day, I think everybody knows what they need to do to succeed, whether they believe it or not. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want, but in its simplest form, Coach Boyce always used to say, shout out Coach Boyce. I think today is actually his birthday, but know what's right, do what's right. And that's it. Like even when you don't feel like it, even when it's not pretty, even when you don't feel good or you're tired or you got a cold or whatever the case may be, like you just got to push through and do the work. And that's what it comes down to if you have aspirations to be something great, which we both do. So
the life you've always wanted is on the other side of I'm too tired or I don't feel like it. Everything you've ever wanted to accomplish is right on the other side of that little excuse that's in between you and waking up in the morning, you and going to the gym, whatever the case may be. I fall victim to it too. We all do. We're our biggest enemy and our biggest advocate at the same time. So that's why it's so important to work on us. That's why doing these things for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're who's going to take you there. But like you said, like, I was tired before I didn't want to set up to film. Like, it's been a long day already. And what do you always say? Yesterday you said tomorrow?
That's on my vision board. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Yeah.
Yesterday you said tomorrow. I think that's a good way to...
Yeah. Do the fucking work. That's it. So...
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all we got. This is episode 1, week 1, 75 hard. We'll see y'all next week.
Carney out.
Peace.